Hey, it's John-Hope-Bryant, founder of Operation Hope and co-founder of Global Dignity, which was inspired by the young global leaders in the World Economic Forum. And is presently, well, the co-founders are Crown Prince Haakon of Norway. I'm here in Norway now this week for our Oslo meetings, our annual Oslo meeting with the 25 country chairs represented from around the world. And Professor Pekka-Himanen, Finland, who is the youngest PhD in Finland's history, author of 14 books translated in many languages. But we are brothers from other mothers in the sense that we are all global citizens and we are all from the same DNA. And we all believe that the world is interconnected and our faiths are interconnected, literally tied to our actions toward each other and with each other, and have embraced this concept of global dignity as a new language for the world. So today's observation on the 20th anniversary of Operation Hope for me is really a lesson in dignity, that I didn't teach a child, but the child and children taught me. The story comes from probably the toughest session I did for Global Dignity, which was, and we've done it, well, Global Dignity last year was in 50 countries. We touched 100,000 kids last year alone. Prior years, it was less countries. I think over all of Global Dignity's history, more like 70 countries have had dignity sessions, countless cities. Operation Hope alone has taught over 200,000 kids a course in dignity in America and in South Africa. So a big impact. You'll be hearing more about that because we'll be writing about the details of our engagement later in the week. But the toughest session I did was in the Middle East because I wasn't quite sure that it would work in the Middle East. I knew that it should. I was confident about the philosophy, but there's a lot of challenges and frictions and understandable frustrations in the region, and this can be confused with a lot of other things. And I am American and Western and so on and so forth. And so my fears and my insecurities, I talk about that in my book, Love, Leadership, and the Way of Leading in a Fear-Based World. My fears and my insecurities got ahead of my faith. But luckily, I remember attending my book before I went to Jordan. This was 3 years ago now, at the invitation of Queen Rania, which was the definition of courage. Courage is nothing more than your faith reaching through your fear, displaying itself as action. I'll repeat, that courage is nothing more than your faith reaching through your fear, displaying itself as action in your life. So I reached beyond my discomfort and insecurities, and I didn't let any of my projections of my views, which were uninformed about the Middle East, get in the way of me showing up. So we showed up, and of course, one of the people who briefed me, not the Queen, by the way, or her staff, one of the people said, "John, you really shouldn't talk about religion. That there's a lot of challenges in the region. We don't want to create conflict." And I thought to myself, well, isn't that really part of the problem, that we don't talk about it, that we don't talk about it young enough, that kids don't have a conversation, that there's not more tolerance in the world? But I didn't want to disrespect my host. I said nothing. When we get to Jordan, to cut to the chase of the story, John is in this story. Can we please start there? I'm in front of Jordanian TV. TV's cameras rolling. There's Queen Rania. There's all the assembled guests. And the first thing out of my mouth, and it was not unscripted, just the way my energy flowed, was about a mile from here, Jesus Christ was baptized. Now, those of you who understand the region understand that there was a big sucking sound, like, in the audience, just complete quiet, like what's going to come out of his mouth next. And I said, the next thing out of my mouth was, about 45 seconds later, I intentionally paused. But about a mile from here, Jesus Christ was baptized, yes, but about 100 yards from where Jesus Christ was baptized, the Prophet Muhammad ascended into heaven. Now, what are the chances, postscript, what are the chances in a world of 7 billion people, 200 plus countries in the world, 25,000 miles around the world, and the shortest distance around the world, of course, the world is around, it's our shortest distance anyway, make fun of myself every now and then. What's the chances that 100 yards from each other, in the same country, same region, same space, Jesus Christ was baptized, the Prophet Muhammad ascended into heaven? Had to conclude that either God has a sense of humor or he's trying to tell us something. Translation, we're all in this together. So we go in the classroom. I'm told these girls won't talk to you, so don't get disappointed. These were Muslim girls of the Islamic faith, and so you can't shake their hand, you can't hug them. I'm a hugger. Couldn't, had to be very respectful of their faith, and I was. So I started asking questions, and for a few minutes, nobody answered, and I felt really alone. But just kept pushing through it, kept persevering and having faith, and finally a hand goes up slowly. I said, "What did I mean outside?" And she says, "I think you meant that I can be me and still allow you to be you." Bravo, I said, yes. Then another hand goes up. Yes, what do you think I meant? She says, "Well, I think you meant that life is like a mountain, and that God or Allah," she's Allah, I inserted also God, "is at the top of the mountain, but the religion are the roads up the mountain. And so you can go up any road you like, name any religion you like, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, so on and so forth, but we're all going to the same place." I said, bravo. And but when she said that I can be me and still allow you to be you, we are all in this together. That South African phrase, Ubuntu, I am me because you are you. I knew at that instant that this would work. And those girls became the hope for me for the future. And about 40 minutes later, the queen came in, and I was told that you have to stall because the girls won't talk to you. Well, we couldn't shut the girls up. So I said, "Well, look, the queen is here. I can't shut you up. Why? What happened?" They said, "Because no one ever really asked us our opinion. And once we knew you truly, authentically had an interest in what we have to say, we had a lot to say. And we wanted to share it. And it was all positive and and empowering, and it was everything that you want to hear from future leaders, not only in the Middle East, but in Europe or Asia or India or Latin America or Africa, any parts of the world. You'd love to hear this from this generation. This is what gives me hope in the world, that I went there to teach them something, and they taught me something instead. To quote my hero, Ambassador Andrew Young, coincidence is God's way of saying anonymous. If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plan. Until later.